and the Tav, the sign of the Aleph and the Tav. Now, we did already talk about this, at least talk about the Tav portion of the sign. And this is what you see all over the news, right? And let me actually advance my slide because what we can do is that we can do a quick review of the Tav. So previously, if this is your first time here, what we'll do is that we'll just review what we talked about previously as far as like the sign, right? The mark, the eclipse. And what we talked about was that when the eclipse occurs on April the 8th, right? And there's a previous eclipse that occurred in 2017. But so there's another eclipse that occurs 2024, right? This year in April 8th. And when that eclipse occurs, is going to complete making an X across the United States. And but one of the things we pointed out, Fender, was that that X isn't an X. In Hebrew, it's the Hebrew letter Tav, and you can see it on your screen. Tav, T-A-V, Tav, and the significance about this sign being drawn over the U.S. is multifactor, right? There's many things that we can draw from this. One is that the meaning of the word Tav, it is mark, a sign. The meaning of the word Tav is mark and sign. And actually, let's see here, Fabian. I'm going to, in the background, I'm going to upload another slide here, so bear with me just for a second. I'm going to, actually, I think it's already in my cache here. Let's do sign of that. We'll do eclipse. Yeah, I'll pull that forward. I'm going to pull this on the stage. Hang on, family. And what I want to do, family, I just want to start off with some scriptures, right? So this is just the kind of, like I said, we are reviewing what we talked about last time. When we talked about the Tav, we talked about, the significance of the Tav. We talked about what it actually meant. And we talked about, it actually means mark. It means sign. The Tav, which is the 22nd letter it's the last letter in the Hebrew alphabet. So the Hebrew alphabet has 22 letters. It's actually letter 22. But in the Hebrew alphabet, each letter has a numerical value. And the numerical value of Tav is 400. It's 400, family. And the significance for us so-called African Americans here in the States is because we just reached our 400th year in 2019. And, if 2019, that's why when I tell people, it's like 2019, we hit our anniversary, all hell broke loose here in the States. We had impeachments. We had, viruses, lockdowns, a record number of people were unalived across the country, right? With, with the, whether it be from the virus or whether it be from the, from the jab, whoever, right? Just a lot of stuff that was going on, family. A lot of stuff. And it started when we hit our 400 years. And that's why I tell people is that there's something special about you, family. There's something special about when you hit your 400 years, all hell broke loose across the U.S., across the world. Because the first slaves, which you find is that when you look across the span of history, the first slaves didn't come to America in 1619. The first slaves didn't come over to the South America in 1619. Actually, the very first slaves were in South America way before they were over here in the States. At least the transatlantic slave trade. And so, what people would have pointed out in the past was that, well, the 400 years couldn't be about slavery because the people in Brazil, they hit their 400 years and nothing happened. The people in, the Caribbean, they hit their 400 years and nothing happened. I mean, the descendants of slaves. But woe to the world, family, when you hit your 400th years here in the U.S., the wheels on the bus fell off. There's something about you, family, I'm telling you. There's something about you hitting your 400 years. But in any event, family, this sign that's being written or drawn across the U.S. called the Tav, it literally means 400. Like the numerical value of that letter, that Hebrew letter, is 400, right? And then, like we said, it literally means mark and sign. And then the X, like when you're looking at the mark of the top, like the X, the part where the X crosses, family. It crosses over a place called Little Egypt, and I actually have to apologize. I have to give a shout out to um, um, Elder Zakane Sauls, because he was one of the ones, one of the first people I've heard teach or point out that the fact that the Tav crossed over Little Egypt. So shout out to Elder Saul and that. We know in part, family. Don't ever think that one of us knows everything, because I glean from you all, from Israel that's out there and abroad. Always surfing on YouTube. I'm learning just like everyone else. I'm just like you, family. I tell folks I'm regular. I'm regular. So most I women, wake up in the morning, get up and go to work just like everybody else. So yeah, we all regular folks in a sense. We understand that we're Israel, and we know understand the promises of Israel, and all this stuff around going on around the world is about you, family. It's about you. It's about you in that 400-year mark. It's about you going home. Hallelujah. It's about you going home. So back to the review, family. So just want to just kind of just finish up the review. So the Tav, like the place where it crosses, it crossed over this place called Little Egypt, and actually, family, also one of the things that we discovered. This is after, you know, we've got. I had given the lesson, a few days ago, but let me just show you, family. So let me show you how precise this Tav is. So when the two eclipses cross, if you were to zoom in to the center of each eclipse, right, and where those eclipse actually cross, if you were to zero in to a street level to where they cross, it would cross on a road called Salem Road. It would cross on a road. Oh, it does cross. Well, when it does occur on April 8th, it will cross on a road called Salem Road. And if you don't know, Salem is the early name for Jerusalem. It's literally in the Bible. It's literally in the Strong's Concordance. And actually, let me show you. Let me show you that as well. Let me switch back over to my other presentation. And let's see here. This is. Let's go to. I was about the top. What I want to show you is the Strong's Concordance per Salem. Oh, very fair. I apologize for clicking through the slide. I'm just breezing through. I'm trying to find the. I have a slide where here it is. It's Salem. There it is. Okay. So it's Strong's number H8004. So H8004 is Salem in the Bible. And as you can see where it says meaning, it says peaceful, and it says an early name for Jerusalem. An early name for Jerusalem. So where these two eclipses cross, if you were to zoom all the way in to where you could see actually streets and mailboxes, it would cross on a street called Salem. And it's interesting where the street lies. The street is in a national park. So in other words, family, this street where Salem is, where Jerusalem is, it's in the wilderness. Come on now, family. This Salem Road, where the eclipses cross, it crosses on a road, not in a city, not in a town, but it crosses on a road called Jerusalem in the wilderness. Hallelujah. I'm telling you, family, there's something about this mark that's coming up it's I don't know about you, family, but I'm taking off. I'm taking off just so that most I wouldn't would do a live on that day. I'll invite folks like the Pastor Kelly and esteemed guests, and one we'll invite you all on as well, and just let everyone just come on and just share, and yeah, we'll just take it all in. We don't know what's going to happen afterwards, and what I'm going to show you most I willing is that this is actually a pattern, like this pattern of judgment. We are following a pattern of judgment that has happened before. And this is something that I haven't really seen anybody bring out. But this isn't like a brand new path that we're following. The Most High has judged the city before, and we should know this city very well who had the Most High judge, and it was Jerusalem, 70 A.D. And when Jerusalem was judged, there were signs in the heavens. There were comets. There were all kinds of stuff, right? And it's just that because, we're not familiar with that, we may not know that certain things that are popping up now were popping up back then. Hallelujah. All right. All right, family. Well, like I said, let's just finish up with this recap. So we talked about how B'Tav literally means 400. It literally means sign. It crosses over a city called Little Egypt. And it's like you said, if you zoom all the way into the street level, it actually crosses over a street called Salem or Jerusalem in the wilderness in a park.